5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to day, what the hell is it? 11 of, shut up, I have to look. I don't remember what day of the week it is, or day, the date, and all that stuff. Anyway, day 11 of National Podcast Post Month here on the Odd Dead Out Podcast. And today I have a guest because she got mad at me because I hadn't invited her on, even though she said she didn't want to do it anyway. But my wife, ReAnna, is here.
Yay.
Yay.
Insert applause.
I don't have that queued up.
Oh.
Anyway, so, dear, why did you decide you wanted to come on the show today?
Because I was bored.
Because I was going to do this and you were going to bed? Mm-hmm. And you were like, well, fuck, if you're going to be in here doing this. If you're going
to be in here being annoying, then I might as well be in here doing it too.
You're going to be in here being annoying too?
Well,
that's basically what you just said.
You're the annoying one, but I'll participate.
I'm sorry. Who's the one who said they annoyed themselves awake last night?
Oh my God, that is also your fault because you got me sick. So I was wheezing so much that I literally couldn't sleep.
That's not entirely my fault. You refused to take any medication until I got home from work.
I don't like taking meds when you're not home because then I feel like I'm going to be completely comatose if the boys wake up, which they did. Thank you very much. I was right.
One of them woke up and climbed into bed with you, which he totally didn't need you to be awake to climb in and take my spot.
Still, I don't feel comfortable doing it. I prefer to wait until you're home and then I can take like an entire cup of cough medicine and pass out for a few days.
Except most nights I don't get home until 2 or 3 in the morning. It just happens that it was a Saturday and I got home at 10.
I mean, I get that, but thankfully I didn't get sick during the week. I mostly have been sick over the weekend.
Yeah.
So works out in our favor.
So, dear, do you have anything to talk about on this fine Sunday evening? No. You're like, I'm just going to come over here and give you shit for a little while. And It's like, are you done yet?
Just here to bug you.
Yep. That's, kind of your purpose in life, apparently.
Wow. Wow. You're a horrible person.
So that was my ex-wife. Good night, everybody. So I figured, because we just watched it literally 5 minutes ago, and I actually had talked about the first movie on the show way back when. It's probably a year and a half ago.
It's probably been that long since we watched the first one.
Yeah. But we just watched Hurricane Bianca 2 from Russia with Hate. Okay. Now, if you recall, this is I guess you could say a film series now.
Kind of.
Starring some of the most hilarious of drag queens that came out of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Absolutely. Bianca's hilarious. In this one, there was Bianca, Katya, who is just gold.
Yeah,
she's hilarious. Amazing. And Shangela, who is hands down one of my favorite drag queens.
I've never been that big of a fan, but within the movie, seeing...
How dare you?
I'm sorry. Just a little... And I realize we're talking about drag queens, and I'm going to say Shangela is almost too flamboyant for me. It's just a personality that I'm like, eh.
How dare you?
I realize. And I realize in general it is kind of sacrilegious for me to say that, but I'm just not a huge Shangela fan. Sue me.
I might.
Shit, somebody might. Fuck.
I'm thinking about it.
You're not going to get anything out of me.
This is true.
But who else? I forget. Who was it that we pointed? Who's Rex? I can't remember who was Rex.
I don't know who Rex is, but they look an awful lot like Blair St. Clair from season 10, I believe. I don't think that's who it is. They just really look alike.
It's one of those we have to go through the credits and look.
Yeah.
I don't think it was Blair, but yeah, I think it was definitely so hilarious. I mean, put up with all of the other hilarious queens in this movie, and Rex stole the show. Like, the snark and just the
sassy attitude.
It was so great. The one-liners, and you know, when you look at Bianca Del Rio literally being a stand-up comic drag queen,
yeah,
like an insult comic drag queen, Lisa Lampanelli with a little bit more, I don't know necessarily how much more equipment, but Lisa Lampanelli with equipment. And
questionable.
About Lisa, I know. But that's where the lawsuit's coming from. But then when you've got Bianca Del Rio and you're one-upping Bianca Del Rio on one-liners in her own movie, like, ooh, you know, it's like beating everybody having better jokes than Jeff Foxworthy.
It was really funny, though. There were a couple of times, like, for Rex's lines, I was like, I'm absolutely going to be using these, like, personally in the future.
Yeah.
Oh, look. Anything else?
So, do we want to give the quick rundown of the movie?
I'm not a fan of doing that.
And this isn't a movie show.
I hate when people do that to me, so I'm going to skip doing that.
I guess going with the general plot synopsis of Bianca gets tricked into going to Russia, and Emmett came in here.
Hi, Emmy.
Like, wait, Mom's doing this thing too. Holy crap. You go lay down, buddy. I can actually hear him panting on the mic. All right, go lay down, buddy.
No, you pet him now.
There he goes.
Now he's going to scratch you until you pet him some more.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway.
But yeah. In so many words, Bianca gets tricked into going to Russia, and because, you know, drag queen, gays, Russia, it's like, I'm going to get Bianca thrown in jail forever as revenge from the first movie. And, you know, hijinks ensue. It's like, yeah, that's the gist of the movie. Throw in a lot of zippy one-liners and and there you go. And it seems simple as hell in general, because we're not, you know, a movie podcast. I'm not going to get too much into details, but that's the gist of the story. That was probably the pitch meeting. It was probably Bianca gets sent to Russia for some reason and hijinks ensue. We'll fill it in later.
Sold.
Yes, because it's a good movie. The first one was hilarious. This was even better, I think.
This one did hold its own. Sequels usually don't hold their own against the first one, but this one really did.
Yeah.
I thought it did a really good job. And I like that they added a bunch of like other drag queens that weren't necessarily on Drag Race, like Lady Bunny. There were some really like old school, just like Rue's friends.
Yeah.
That were on there. That was really cool. And for those of you that don't know, obviously Adam and I watch RuPaul's Drag Race quite a bit. I'm a huge fan of the show. Adam watches mostly because I watch it. Well,
I don't watch it as much as I used to, but that's more of when it's on, and I don't like watching it when you've already seen it, because then it's like, oh, well, you already watched it. Shit.
I mean, I can go back and watch every single episode like 50 times. I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah.
But they did just release the cast for All Stars 4, which is super exciting.
Yeah. But I'm kind of like, I'm iffy on that one because
On the cast?
I'm iffy on the cast, and I don't like the fact that they just keep popping out All-Star seasons. Because
I don't like that they still haven't like hammered out like an official format for All-Star seasons, because like the first All-Stars, they did the teams, and that was an utter failure and screwed over so many good queens. The second All-Stars was where they, you know, decided that the queens were going to be voting each other off. The third one is when they brought in the jury of the previously voted off queens.
Yeah, I didn't see that one at all.
And it's all just been like disaster after disaster and people getting ripped off, all for the sake of RuPaul trying to avoid being accused of favoritism.
Yeah, that's really kind of the gist of like why they have to keep changing it up, is because the first time around it was obviously a setup, and they pretty much got called out on it. And it was like, oh yeah, no, this was basically established so that Chad Michaels could be awarded a win because he didn't win in that season. And from there out, it was like, no, this is all just a setup to get one particular queen an award. And so it's like, okay, we're going to change the rules and we're going to be hands off and let somebody else handle this award. But
every single All-Star season is completely different from the last in terms of how it's
formatted and judged. And
so that's what I don't like about it, is like, I would prefer for them to have some sort of format that they follow like the regular seasons, because then it's like, okay, we all know what we're getting into. We all know what we're signing up for. There's no animosity between people. There's no Shangela was robbed, which she abso-freaking-lutely was. You know, if anybody out there that's listening is a fan of Trixie Mattel, I'm not even sorry, because I can't stand her. I think she didn't deserve to win that at all. I don't think she deserved to be on All Stars.
No, not at all.
And Shangela was absolutely robbed. Fight me.
Change my mind.
Right.
I should find somebody to make up the little name of that little card table, put you behind it. Shangela was robbed. Change my mind.
You can't. Like, you literally can't. So that is my stance on that. Also, I don't think Valentina deserves to be on All Stars 4.
A lot of them don't belong to be on All Stars 4, but they needed to. That's what I was saying. They shouldn't be rushing out so many All Star seasons, because I've been saying for a while the talent pool is getting thin, but for an All Stars, I feel like they're really, like, so many of them are the last one or two seasons. Like, you were just on. How are you an All-Star? They just recycled half the cast from the last show. That's not All-Stars.
And it sucks for the girls that are just coming off of their season, because they haven't had time from their season to All-Stars to go out and work and make these connections that the other girls have and make the money that the other girls have.
Because they've been out there working it for a while.
Yeah, they've been out touring. They've been out getting all sorts of gigs, making connections in the drag community. They have people to make their costumes now, whereas the girls that are just coming off of their season don't.
Probably still share an apartment and are sewing their shit by hand.
Exactly.
If they know how to sew.
Yeah, if they know how to sew. So it makes it a lot harder for them, and it's almost unfair to them in that respect. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm so excited to see Monique Hart and Monet Exchange back, because I freaking love them. They're hilarious. But I feel like they are probably going to be very early out for that reason.
They're just too new, and they're too new in the system of the post-drag race world.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I mean, I feel bad for them, but who knows? Maybe they'll surprise me.
you never, I will say it's the fact that they do change it up every season basically means you never know. It could totally go somewhere you don't expect. But I am pushing hard. I am Team Latrice because I've been pro Latrice since that was the best season when it came to talent.
I also don't like that Latrice was already on an All-Star season and now she's back. That's not fair to other girls who haven't been on an All-Stars who deserve it. To me, it really looks like this is the setup for Latrice to win. That's just me, because of those that have gone in and, the non-winners, they've all gotten their recognition for the most part. But, Latrice is absolutely respected, but deserves an award for like the
Latrice,
work she's done after her season.
Like Latrice is the best queen to never win.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it.
Well, she did get Miss Congeniality for her season. So did Monet, but yeah, because Latrice Royale is just awesome. And you know what? You don't even have to know anything about the character of Latrice Royale. You hear the name Latrice Royale, you know this is a huge bitch. You know this is a big person with a big personality. Yeah.
The name
She's
says
awesome,
it. Oh, yeah. And the laugh is just contagious. I couldn't replicate it if I had to, but like just if you know anything about these people and these personalities, you're like, Team Latrice all the way. Your whole Shangela was robbed. Mine Latrice was robbed.
But she had so many good people that she was up against in her season. Because you think about it, her season was Chad and Sharon and Latrice, and I mean, she just had so many good people that she was up against.
Latrice has always been put up against so much competition.
She deserved to go up there more than Fifi did. But
yeah.
But I don't think it's fair I personally don't think it's fair to bring her back for another All-Stars.
Fine. Except really, you look at the talent this time around, it's not nearly as stiff a competition. This is much more, there's a handful of them this season that could maybe give any sort of competition for Latrice. Everybody else is going to get steamrolled.
Maybe.
So
it depends on the format of the show this year.
Like this time, it's all baby drag challenges. Go.
Who knows?
What? No, you're actually going to have to drag like babies the whole time.
Oh my gosh. Stop that.
Okay. So you've been listening to Drag Talk with us. It was one of those things where we just watched the movie. It was hilarious, and I needed something to talk about.
Drag queens.
And drag queen. Because I love those movies are so hilarious. And then you said, hey, you wanted to talk. You wanted to come on the show tonight. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to talk about the movie. And then it just, you pull us together, pull the string, and we go off. And it just happens that the start of the conversation was drag, and we can go on for a while there. But any parting words, my dear?
I need Theraflu.
Yeah. And a breathing treatment and maybe some therapy.
Rude?
Accurate.
Possibly.
No more than me.
Oh, no, you need a lot more. Like, a lot.
Like all the therapies.
All the therapies. Hydrotherapy.
Hail Hydra.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Let's take one joke and make it into a bad nerd reference. Go me. All right.
You are a bad nerd. Anyway.
So, that's going to do it for tonight. Thank you very much, dear, for coming on and making me seem slightly less gay by having a female in the conversation.
About drag queens?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if I went on for 20 minutes talking about drag queens by myself, which I did already once, it looks...
Oh, so I'm your cover.
No, it just makes me seem a little less gay.
Like, fractionally.
Yeah, I realize, because I contributed way too much to the conversation. So, anyway.
Yeah.
But that is it for tonight. Again, remember to subscribe to the show. Go to odddadoutpodcast.com. Follow me on the social medias, the Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, @odddadout. And until tomorrow, let's hope this goes less incriminatingly.
Doubt it.
Thank you and good night.